This will not be a real presentation because the day is over and we all want to finish. But we thought that it would be interesting after this survey of urbanization options, good and bad, and how by our colleague Anton here, and after Heidelberg and the very great fate of the IBA in Heidelberg, to land back in our dear city of Tomsk and share with you not a few thoughts, but elements of design of ongoing processes. So we have been talking a lot with Eduardo and during the plenary about innovation processes, etc., and how, and the university, and triple helix, and those concepts. In fact, this is, in the context of this so-called boiling point, part of our agenda here at Tomsk State University for the last couple of years, and we are about to land for real now on the territory of the campus with actual projects. So tonight, I would like to share elements of vision very quickly in 2 minutes and just show you the kind of ending point which we are now very close. Get your feedback because now we are moving towards a final stage of design of one project which, if everything goes well, we never know, but which, if everything goes well, should be constructed next year and inaugurated hopefully as part of the 140th anniversary of the opening of Tomsk State University in 1888. So you have heard from the mouth of Rector Galazinski and Deputy Governor Antonov about University Mile. University Mile is not a myth, it really exists in Tomsk. This was University Mile just after the creation of the university in the turn of the 20th century. And really we tried to consider how to connect not only space, not only good ideas, but also time in one location. Tomsk, as it used to be, maybe never really like this, or like we like to have it in mind as a typically Siberian cities with actual streets, with a lot of vernacular architecture, a merchant city, which then turned to be an academic city. A timeline with very randomly selected events from the foundation of the city to the mapping of Siberia, to the foundation of Botanical Garden in Moscow, the foundation of the Russian Geographic Society, the foundation of the university, and elements we shared during our plenary about students and students' life from now. So we can see also how deeply our world is moving. And as for our university, then the building, the sort of very iconic building, heritage building, federal listed heritage building of Tomsk State University. And Deputy Governor Antonov mentioned this morning that university was part of the charter of the city, and the motto of the city is by knowledge and by labor. So this is really not just one building among others, this is like practically one component of Tomsk DNA, and you can see that it has lived a lot of lives, right? And when we are considering like the future of the campus, future buildings, etc., it cannot be just, okay, let's copy-paste super nice solutions from wherever and put them here with a flag and say, we innovate in Tomsk. It must be something different, okay? Interestingly, at the turn of the millennium, this building and this design used to be the logo of Tomsk State University, and it was about sacralization of the building, forgetting also that there is influx, student life, academic life all behind it. It's not just a building, even a prestigious building, it must be about something else. And ever since 2013, what we are trying to do is expand not just the building, but expand the reach of research, expand the quality of all that, right? And then we need to take into account a variety of scales, which are not project scales, but which are part, right, of the essence of the research that has been carried out here in the past decades. For example, in the main historic building of Tomsk State University, there is a communication center where you can communicate with this International Space Station in this building. So it's really being part of all our discussion, and we have to have in mind this scale, because then there are other scales which we need to take into account. Of course, I mentioned the university mile scale, which is a real city scale with design, but also this scale, which is absolutely not an urban scale. 2,500 kilometers, 300 kilometers, you can see from the Altai to the Barents Sea. This is a stretch of a mega profile, which is currently the object of environmental studies at very large scale under the umbrella of Trans-Siberian Scientific Way. So part of the equation about Tomsk, then about the campus, then about localized projects in the campus, is to find a way to connect those scales, okay? You can see also this aspect. We are in a digital and interconnected environment, so it's not just about space. It was mentioned also with the different proposals about the future of these projects in Heidelberg, how to connect space with connectivity somehow, right? And actually in a city which does look, in fact, right now like this, this is the beginning of the campus place of Tomsk State University. The University Mile. We have been here in the afternoon, we are here now, and we connect all this. Transformation of education programs that go with that, or there is the whole knowledge process. And this is the kind of like labs or experiments that is very popular even among students, but that cannot apply exactly in the context of here, in the context of now, according to all the elements I've been sharing with you. So we had to find something else to reconsider. Green Factory with the Botanic Garden, Startup Factory here, Media and Art Factory, and here a tiny spot near the main building, which over the last 2 years we have been sweating over it, trying to find a way how to build something. This is very preserved heritage site, and the only way there is to build something new is to find a plot, an existing plot of land. Otherwise, it's just not possible. And this is actually a former chemistry warehouse, and it's the only existing plot of land with no real full construction that can allow to build something. And so we have been really trying hard to figure out what and how to build something here that can reflect the values that I've been explaining. There have been different attempts to reconsider the campus in the future, how to design it, how to sort of connect all scales and epochs. And just this is not project, this is design elements or help, things that help to think about the future. Some of you have seen those elements already. And then try to find out how to connect design in the campus with this very large scale of environmental elements, which I did mention, by reconsidering if we build something this scale on the campus. What is the meaning according to research, for example, on glaciology that is being conducted since the last 50 years in the Altai mountain? You can see people walking here on a glacier that is actually quickly melting. So, and how also to organize, especially at real scale, the dialogue between this, the nice, old, noble heritage building, and a kind of new construction. We have been testing, this is like a strange animal, it's not architecture, but we have been testing different options and solutions and how to organize the dialogue for real at spatial level between notions and between buildings. And so finally, last addition came, discussion was open with Gazprom Bank in the last months, allowing to include one key parameters, which is not just finding finance, but also finding a partner which is in the digital industry, which is also considering smart banking and the future of digital banking, opening a discussion about the future of development in cities and, I would say, at large scale, environmental preservation, and how we could sort of connect all these threads by delivering something new in the campus, which does make sense according to transformation of universities. So it's about all these you can find different elements, you can find a different kind of reference to the past, to the space, to the time, to the design, to the future of education. It's not possible to do all those things all together, but it is possible then to consider how to move from this analysis to architecture and design by considering, I hope the next one are better. No, sorry, so you'll have to read them like this. By considering how to plan for a co-working space on a plot of land of about 10 per 15 meters. So it's not very large, 150 meters, 3 floors, that's about 450, 400 square meters. And this is what we are now trying to research on. With my friend Vladimir Chimer is here, we are working on that with him, and with different architects that we have been testing with whom we have been testing different solutions, proposing a real co-working space that would be versatile, that would provide also equipment very complementary to this boiling point, but in the context of the university, with also a terrace on the top. Very simple elements and a design that might look like this, not exactly like this at the end. Something reflecting on the forestry that it is all around, something that is as simple as possible, something reflecting also this pattern of wooden elements that have been part of the preliminary design elements, something that is both ambitious but modest, not super like, it's not Skolkovo here, we are in Siberia. Something also that looks not just on the ground, we can then reuse like inox, this kind of elements reflecting the environment so that the building itself is not too intrusive, because we are that close to the main building and we need to play with a rather strong rules. Something that can also play the role of a lighting element in the night, because sometimes it's winter, sometimes it's autumn, it's not always super bright weather. And an addition that is both like preserved from the environment, but which also during the nighttime and during hard times and during bad weather can serve as a confident lighting elements on the campus. So we wanted definitely to share with you those elements tonight. There is still a little bit of work ahead of us, but we will do whatever we can with our partner. Our likely partner discussions are well underway with Gazprom Bank. And this was also meant to receive your feedback tonight, your remarks, your observations, so that we can, in the next weeks, try to finalize the project, then turn it through regulations, and then have it built. So, thank you very much for sharing that. I think we have time now for discussions, informal discussions around a cup of coffee, or tomorrow or the day after. Thanks so much.